first and foremost, wanting to give honor and praise unto Yah, the creator of heaven and earth. I'm going to go over a couple of subjects here in reference with color, if you may, and then a little bit of history. We're going to go into Ezekiel, the 16th chapter. We're going to start in Ezekiel 16, verse 11. And it says thee, I decked you with ornaments. I put bracelets on your hands and a necklace on your neck. And I placed a ring in your nose, earrings on your ears, and a crown of beauty on your head. Now, the point of me reading that aspect is because it just goes to show you the glory that ancient Israel was physically even decked out with. Now, one of the things to point out, it speaks about bracelets, it speaks about earrings, and it speaks about nose rings. When you look in any part of the world, who do you see walking around with those kind of ornaments on, other than what you might call a people of color? All right, so let that be understood and known. If we will, let's go into the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verse 50. We are in the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verse 50, and it says this. So he brought an offering for Yah, what every man found of gold vessels, anklets and bracelets, rings, earrings, and clasps, to atone for our souls before the Most High. So one of the things to point out here, we distinctly just read about them wearing gold anklets and bracelets. These are things that people had when they was decking themselves out, you may say. You see, and there's one particular culture of people, if you follow the history of the nation of Israel, that actually decked themselves out in reference with that, among other certain things that were done. Let's go, if we will, into the book of Psalms 150. We're going to go in the book of Tehillim, or Psalms 150. We're going to read in verse 4 and 5. And it says this. Praise him with the drum and the dance. Praise him with the organ and flute. Praise him with the clanging cymbals. Praise him with the resounding trumpets. Now, some versions it says praise him with the timbrel, Timbrel. But the word timbrel in Hebrew is the word toph. The word toph in Hebrew means drum. So in the Hebrew in Psalms 150, verse 5 in this part, it says this. Haluhu betoph umakol. Now, one of the things I have wanted to point out is this word right here. Two words, actually. Is this word right here. Toph means drum. Umakol. The word makol comes from the root word makal. The word makal in that aspect means to dance around in a circular motion. So it's speaking about praising the Most High with a drum and dancing around in a circular motion. These are the same people who wore earrings, nose rings, bracelets, chains, so forth and so on. Let's go into the book of Isaiah, if we will. Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. We're going to start in verse 18. Isaiah 3 and 18 says this. On that day, the Most High will remove the splendor of the shoe belts and the headscarves and the moon-shaped ornaments, the necklaces, the bracelets, the veils, the bonnets, the leg bands, the head ties, the brooches, the earrings, the rings and the nose rings, the robes and the shawls, and the pouches and the handkerchiefs, the mirrors and the linens, the turbans and the clasps. So this right here in Isaiah chapter 3 shows you how the people, even in his day and time, were dressing. Turbans, head wraps, head ties, earrings, nose rings, playing drums and dancing around in a circular fashion. This is not European culture, brothers and sisters, that we're reading about. European culture teaches you to take your hat off or your head covering off when you walk into a place as a man or a woman. The Israelite culture, or the Hebrew culture, on the other hand, speaks about the people not having those things on is actually a shame to them when you go and understand what Isaiah 3 is actually saying. Okay, now let's go, if we will, into the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Now, many people quite familiar with what this part here actually speaks on and what this part here actually says. All right, we are here, Song of Solomon, 1 verse 5, and it says this in the English. I am black and comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, at the tent of Kedar, at the presence of Solomon. Now, one of the things to try to point out here is this is actually in Song of Solomon 1 verse 5 is actually the female, not a male singing this. In the Hebrew, there's something that we needed to point out. It says, Shakora Ani, wa Nawa Beno Yerushalem. Now, one of the things to point out is this part right here, emphatically where it says, Shakora Ani, wa Nahwa. The word wa means and. Many Bibles have I am black but comely. The word but or B-U-T is not there in the Hebrew. You see, it actually says I am black and comely, not black but comely. See, this is how some of the translators try to play with the words and so forth and so on. So far we can gather that you got head wraps, head ties, earrings, bracelets, chains, dancing around in a circle of fashion and playing drums, and the people were black and comely. Okay, let's move on. If we will, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, and verse 15. We are in Deuteronomy, or Devarim, chapter 23, verse 15. And it says this. Actually, verse 16 here. You should not turn over to his master a slave who has escaped from his master to you. He shall dwell with you in your midst, and whatsoever place he will choose in one of your cities, which is beneficial to him, you shall not taunt him. Now, what that right there is speaking about is actually not returning what we will understand to be a runaway slave. It was against the culture of the Israelites to return a slave that ran away from his or her master. The point of me going over that is because some people try to say, oh, the Bible is a white man's book. Emphatically not. Because drums, dancing, head wraps, scarves, chains, nose jewels, so forth and so on, and the people being black and comely, and a culture teaching them that they're not supposed to return a runaway slave is not of European nature. To get a little comical, if I may, the entertainer, and a very good entertainer, if I may say personally, Dave Chappelle made a skit speaking about people who dance to music. And he had where the Europeans or the white people were playing their music and how they was dancing in the office and so forth and so on. Then he showed where the black people were working and getting their haircuts in the barbershop, and how the guy Questlove was playing on the drums and how everybody was enjoying themselves. But those were the black people playing the drums and dancing. The white people find that to be atrocity to them in music. Just drums, dancing. That's not their flow. They can't move to the rhythm like that. So it just goes to show you exactly what the people were into even in the ancient days. All right? So now, getting back into the next point, if we will, that the people that we are reading about and speaking about are people of color. Let's go, if we will, into a secular book. I have a book here entitled The Book of Josephus. And in the Book of Josephus, we can go into page 59 of this part here. And it's interesting what it says. The Book of Josephus, page 59, part of what they call the Antiquities of the Jews. Right? And here's what it says. Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 12, verse 3. After this, God bid Moses to put his right hand into his bosom. He obeyed, and when he took it out, it was white, and in color like to chalk. But afterward, it returned to its wonted color again. Now this right here is from the book of Josephus, and it says it returned to its wonted color again. So if his wonted color was not white, then what was it? Wonted means usual or accustomed. Moses was not white.